Hey everybody, this is Jeremy with I Wanna Know More. Got some interesting pictures for you tonight. All of these are from the 1800s, and I think we got one or two from the early 1900s. All of these will be in South Carolina. So, let's go. Alright, here we have the Charleston, South Carolina Orphan Asylum. Now, just wanted to point out the big doorways, because look at the people, look at the size of the door, and look at this techie looking top here. What you want to bet that was once covered in either copper or gold? And was there really a need for a building this size for an orphanage in, just South Carolina? Just saying. Just keep that in mind. Alright, here we have an old photo of the Unitarian and German Lutheran Church. Wanted to point out the Antiquitech antennas on top. As we do here, I will just guess that these were either covered with gold or copper, and these balls right here probably contained either mercury or red mercury. And we got the little antenna up top. You can just barely see it, unless that's just a little crack in the photo, which could be, but most of these have antennas, or had antennas. And we got the cymatic window. Just saying, looks rather out of place for, 18, whatever. Alright, here we have the Cathedral of St. John and St. Finbar. And these are in ruins. I'm not sure if this was after they had an earthquake, which destroyed a lot of stuff, and plus we got the Civil War, so not sure what this was the result of. But I just wanted to point out the Antiquitech we got going on right here. We're going to see another church here in a little while that has a very, very similar looking Antiquitech on it. But look, we got the big windows, and I'm sure this was a really big door. It probably had all the stained glass in it. Alright, next we got, here is that church I was just talking about. It's called the Huguenot Huguenot Church. I'm just going to assume that's how that is said. Got the super high arching windows, and of course the Antiquitech that I was talking about. Makes me wonder if all of these had antennas. Kind of makes me wonder if there was a cathedral in here with an organ, and maybe these were power transmitters versus collectors, because generally we don't see this many on one building that, it's got a lot of the antennas that look like they would be collectors. But I don't know, just theorizing, just throwing it out there. Alright, next we got the post office in Charleston, South Carolina. I mean, look at the size of this. Man, we got the Antiquitech antenna, we got the antenna, the ball, and just like on top of everything else. But just look at the scale of this. Another thing I've noticed on a lot of these older, larger buildings, why is the entrance always upstairs? Would it just not be easier to make things at ground level? I mean, and keep in mind, look at this building. Pretty plain. But they said, heck, let's make this post office in, let's say, Roman style architecture. Let's put these Roman pillars and the Roman A-frame and up high, might I add. I don't know, I just find that strange. And they built all of this without having roads, dirt roads, with horse, buggy, and donkey, might I add. Not saying they couldn't, but why would they? I mean, that's just really out of place. Especially when you see the surrounding buildings. Nothing like it. Alright, what we got next is we seen a different view of these churches. The St. Finbar, and I can't remember the other, but this looks like a behind view. But again, look at the huge door. I mean, who's walking in there? Got the Antiquitech going on top, same as over here. Then we got this one way out in the distance here. Just look at the buildings. Look at this. Now, another thing I wanted to point out. Look at the ruins of, I don't know, some kind of building here, but I bet these buildings did not match these buildings. What do you want to bet? I'm not a gambling man, and I would put money on it. Alright, next we have St. Philip's Church, Charleston, South Carolina. Looks like around 1897 this was done. And again, we've got the Roman pillars. We got the A-frame. I wonder if that's that one we saw in the distance earlier, the previous picture. It's a good possibility. Alright, looks like we probably at one time had a somatic window. Again, makes me theorize if there was a high cathedral in here with a dome and an organ, and this was a transmitter. And here is that same church that we had seen earlier with the Antiquitech stuff. I just had caught that. But look at the surrounding buildings. I mean, looks really out of place to me. Especially being made, in 18 whatever on these dirt roads with, I don't know, really crappy looking sidewalks. Just saying. And if you want to, kind of picture the scale, well, there's some people. There's that building. There's the people. Just don't match. This was a picture I was really excited to find. Alright, this is a depiction of Charleston, South Carolina's first settlement, Arks, Carolina, from 1671. We got a few things going on in this picture. Alright, we got, picture this now. We got waterway going here. Alright, we got the waterway going here. People with their horse and buggies. We got the moat here. And we have a star fort. So they did not build this, because why would you build that there? Look, a good rain, this is going to flood. This is going to flood in here. This is going to flood in here. I mean, it is just this is just a big floodplain. Why would you build your first settlement here unless you discovered, hey, we've already got these walls here, and no telling what else they found here and took out of. See, they've already got a well. This is from 1671, a star fort. Alright, this is some ruins at Charleston, South Carolina. And we've still got the same two churches in the background, but what I really wanted to focus on was these ruins here. Why do we have columns? Again, why do we have these Roman columns in Charleston, South Carolina in the 1800s? And here we have that St. Philip's Church. We saw it earlier, but this was just a different view of it. Alright, next we have the Charleston, South Carolina Old Market. Again, why are they making the entrances upstairs? And then why these big doors? Look at the size of her. Look at the size of that door. The size of the windows. The size of the arches. Look at the surrounding buildings. We got the columns. We got the Romanesque A-frame. I mean, why would this building be here? Alright, next we're going to have the U.S. Post Office and Courthouse in Charleston, South Carolina in 1901. It served as the federal courthouse from 1896 until 1988. Now keep in mind that this was built in 1896. Again, supposedly designed or built in 1896. We've got the Roman A-frame. I mean, you saw the buildings that was around in that time period. This just looks so out of place to me. Why would you need that on a courthouse? Look at the size of that guy. Size of the doors. Size of the doors. Size of the windows. Mud streets. They built this with horse and buggy. A few interesting things that I found out, because I find that there is a lot of Freemasonic connections to these out-of-place architectures. And the guy that did this, his name was William A. Freret. He designed the courthouse and library. Alright, I could not find no ties to him in Masonry, but his uncle, James Freret, on the other hand, designed the Gothic Revival Masonic Hall, which was built in 1871 and was also involved with the rich elite in New Orleans of that time. Alright, this is the coming up is a lunatic asylum. It was initial construction in 1827. Alright, you can see the dates that it kept getting worked on. So let's have a look at this monstrosity of a building. Alright, the first thing that caught my eye, of course, is the Roman columns, the A-frame. We got the Antiquitech on top. That is not just for decoration, people. Look at the massive size of this building. Was there that many crazy people? I'm just saying. And why is everything upstairs? Why is all the entrances upstairs? They've already got things wrong with them. Why make it more complicated? Just saying. And another interesting thing. They're founded. Not built per se. Founded. Freemasons. I'll let you put it together. Alright, now this is the old Charleston jail. I could not find really any old pictures of it, but I did find, while I was looking on the history of it, I did find something interesting and contradictory. But one thing I wanted to point out, we've got like the old castle style turrets here, and we've got the brick, the red brick where the facade's coming off, because all of these old world buildings, they are all red brick. Red brick is the component, the major component red brick holds electricity. Red bricks are capacitors. Look it up, I promise you. Got the archway doors. Alright, now here's the information that I found out about the jail. It says it was operational from 1802 to 1939. Wikipedia says it was built in 1802. So it kind of sounds conflicting to me, because if it was built in 1802, how was it operational in 1802? You tell me they built this in less than a year? Had it ready to go? I mean, could be nothing, could be something. I'll let you decide. And another thing I just want to point out. You saw all the ruins in these other pictures back here. Let's go back a second. I'm sorry, guys. I meant to say something. What if the Civil War... Now, we know that the Civil War was not about what they were telling us about slavery. It was about money, really, or what they want us to believe, other than the slavery narrative. But what if the Civil Wars and a few of the previous wars were also used to destroy these old world buildings that they could not hide any longer? People were starting to ask questions. You destroy it, you destroy the history, then you rewrite it. I mean, just a thought. I could be completely wrong. I'm just throwing it out there. Alright, let's go back. Where was I? Alright. Now this is Sumter Opera House. Wanted to point out the castle-esque architecture we got going on here. And I just thought it looked rather out of place. Look at the surrounding buildings again. So, who's to say that they didn't find this first and say, hey, let's build our town here? Alright, this is Central United Methodist Church. Looks very out of place. We got the Antiquitech on top. Again, the Antiquitech antenna on the very top here. We got the somatic windows. We got the large doors. Large doors for little people. Large doors for little people. And looks like we have a building over here with columns and an A-frame. No roads. Horse and buggy. Building this beautiful architecture. There was no limits on red brick back then. I'm just saying. Like I said, all of these old buildings are red brick. Where did all the red brick come from? Alright, here we have the main building, State Hospital for the Insane. Now, I like this because it had a little color to it. Remember all the other videos where I said it either gold or copper? Well, that looks like copper to me, or their depiction of what this looked like with the copper on it. We've got the Antiquitech antenna because we got the ball, and the antenna collecting free energy. And again, we got the Roman A-frames, the columns, and again, the entrance upstairs. These people already have problems. Why make them climb up a whole bunch of steps if you built this for the insane? And just look at the massive scale of this building. I mean, geez Louise. Alright. And I do believe this is going to be the last pick. Now, this was that same church from way earlier. however you want to say it. The words right there, y'all pronounce it, but it was built in 1844. We got the Antiquitech. All I really wanted to point out was the Antiquitech, the large doors, the large window. Like I said, kind of looks more like a energy transmitter than an energy collector. Just a thought. Yep, that was from my last video. Well, guys, this has been Jeremy with I Want to Know More. I appreciate all the people who take time to leave me comments. That's the whole reason I wanted to start this channel, is I want to be a little bit interactive. When I can get, up to about 300 subs, if that happens, I'll plan on upgrading my internet so I can do some live streaming. I think that would be fun. I think that would be really, enjoyable, because I will get to interact. I mean, that's my favorite part, is not the view counts or the thumbs up. It's when y'all leave me comments, because I just really love interacting with you guys. And plus, I want to give a big shout out to the guys at Iron Realm Media, Josh, Corey, Zach, or Good Times for All in the chat, and the rest of you guys. Awesome Austin, they gave me a shout out on their show the other day, and man, that was really awesome. Y'all are too kind. Those words were just way too kind, and I appreciate it, guys. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, and thanks for stopping by.